Hello, it's the Randy Duck and welcome back for another video. Today is the day, if you didn't already know, where they have released the new Japanese tank destroyer line. So what I've got for you today, I've started the grind already and I've got a video in the tier 5, or 2 replays in the tier 5 and 2 replays in the tier 6 tech tree Japanese tank destroyer. And what I'm going to be doing over the next couple of weeks is grinding my way through this line and getting a video out in all of the tanks in this line. But today it's just a video in the tier 5 and the tier 6. So what I'm going to do first, before we get into the first replay, I'm just going to quickly go over some of the statistics of this tier 5 tank destroyer of the Type 3 Ho Ni. It's basically quite a stealthy tank destroyer. I've got the concealment down with my setup, which you will see in the bottom of the screen shortly, down to about 228 concealment. It's got, I would say, reasonable mobility. You've got a top speed of 40 kilometers an hour, but it can feel a little bit sluggish. It's kind of sort of average mobility, I would say. And then what you do have is a low alpha gun of, I think you've got alpha damage 130, but you've got fantastic reload, and you've actually got a really good DPM on this tier 5 tank destroyer. I think the DPM is about 2,547 on this setup. You've got 150 penetration on your standard AP rounds with 900 shell velocity, 194 penetration on your premium ace PCR rounds with 1,000 shell velocity, then 40 penetration on your HE rounds for 175 alpha. You've got 5 degrees of gun depression. And what I'm going to do, rather than me just keep rambling on, I'll just get into the replays and you can see what this tank can do. And yeah, let's just get to it. Okay, so here we are for the first replay then on Mountain Pass, where we are in a tier 6 matchmaking. There is 2 enemy light tanks and no enemy artillery, and we are on the southern spawn. You'll see my setup in this tank on the bottom of the screen, just coming down now. So if you want to see what crew and equipment I use, you can see it there. So initially on the Mountain Pass, we are just going to try and set up to get some punishment on the cross if we can. Hopefully we can use our good concealment to try and stay in the bushes here and see if we can maybe spot anything crossing or get any damage. Got to be a little bit careful. You see that enemy light tank? If that enemy light tank caresses this ridge, it'll probably spot us and we have to move out and get into a safer location. But for now, that's not happening. It's getting sent by our friendly light tank, and if that light tank takes out, then that's going to be very, very handy for us. We didn't actually spot the cross, but an enemy tier 5 tank has got caught in the open now, and we should just... You can see, like I say, you only have 130 alpha, but you can pick up damage very, very quickly because of the quick reload. It's also good for tracking tanks like this and keeping them permo tracked, because now we've got this enemy heavy tank just tracked, and we're able to free farm him because he can't get to safety, and we pick up the first kill, putting us onto 8,000 damage and 189 assistance. Looking to get a few shots into this enemy heavy tank. We get one in for the lower plate, but where I've killed the other enemy heavy tank, he's kind of got a little bit of cover now, and I didn't have any shots able to get into his track wheel, which is a shame. I would have liked to have tracked him in place like I did before. Enemy KV3, I believe, gets KV2, so he gets spotted. Now this is obviously a dangerous tank, could one-shot us, but you can see how good the concealment is, especially at sort of low tiers. When you're in top tier matchmaking, you can be quite stealthy and just pick up some damage. We get a few shots into the enemy heavy tank there. I think we damaged his track, but unfortunately I'm guessing he's managed to repair that and get safe because we wasn't able to blind fire him there. Pretty even game so far. It's 11 versus 12, so you see right now as I'm scanning, I'm just checking on hit points and tanks locations, because then it just helps me react later on if I know how many hit points the enemy tanks have. I think, well, at least one of the enemy tank destroyers now crossed over the bridge. So I'm going to go and try and deal with this enemy tank destroyer, getting a little bit closer and see if we can take him out. I don't want to get spotted where I am right now because I'll be in the open to the crossfire. I need to try and get in a little bit, closer where I am, so the enemy team don't have, shots into the rear of me. Managed to finish off that enemy TD, leaving us into just one enemy tank destroyer here. with 2 kills, sort of 1,600 damage. Trying to wait for my heavy tank to come and support me, and then we can take out this TD together. And yeah, again, it is quite a close game, so I don't really want to throw all my hit points away. But I think he's actually running here, and we should be able to get a few shots into him before he escapes. Got to be careful with that little Swedish tank destroyer there, because I think it has a derp gun, so it can take away a lot of our hit points. We've got to be alert to that fact. Now on sort of just shy of 2,000 damage. Again, 9 tanks remaining, 9 versus 8. Got a full health heavy tank with us. I'm also a little bit concerned the KV2 was sort of in this last location, so I've got to be careful he doesn't just pop round at the end of that bridge and take us out, because yeah, he would one-shot us. So we've got to be aware of the fact of that. You don't really have a lot of armour in this tank, but I don't think you really expect to have that much armour anyway in this tier 5 tank destroyer. Looking to see if we get any shots. You can see there's a tank in the middle road, which is a little bit awkward because I don't want to get farmed crossing this bridge. I also want to try and finish off these 2 one-shots here. Hopefully we should be able to finish off this tank destroyer before he turns around. We do, picking up the 3rd kill of the game. And then we've got an enemy one-shot medium tank to our left. If he pokes, we should be able to finish him off. So we're just waiting for that opportunity to see if he pokes around. But that doesn't look like that's going to happen. And here's that enemy KV2. And thankfully he doesn't shoot us there. We don't want to... He is on a 2-shot to us right now. So we're trying to pull in. Because we do... If our friendly heavy tank puts a shot into this tank, then it'll be on a 1-shot. We should be able to take him out. But the KV2's just fired. Unfortunately, I don't pen him that first shot. I track him in a place. And now I'll pull back in because I don't want him to finish us off. I probably had enough time to finish off the kill there, but I didn't want to risk it, being that the game is so close. But now he has just fired again, and we know we got the we can take him out there. Taking out the KV2, putting us onto 4 kills with 2,000 damage. So we're having a decent game in the tier 5 tank destroyer. 3 tanks remaining. I know there was an enemy heavy tank, which is enemy Churchill, spotted on the bottom, sort of if I can come off of this bridge here. But I'm just looking to see if we can get any shots into that medium route that actually just then gets taken out. Now, I suspect this enemy Churchill is probably moving back to defend their base, because he hasn't crossed over. So I'm going to try and get down here. But as you can see, I'm just praying I can find a way off of this climb without throwing all my hit points away. Now, there is a way down. I've just got to be very, very careful. You see how slowly I'm going. I'm going rear on, and I managed to get down with pretty much, well, only losing 10 hit points. So that was pretty good. And it's just this one enemy Churchill left. Was a Churchill, if he's facing frontally to us, he's going to win the DPM race. So he's going to kill us if we're just in a 1v1 fight. But hopefully, if I can catch him, it's obviously not it's not a quick tank. If I can catch him still climbing, then I might be able to get a few shots in before he's able to react, and then I can just go toe to toe and just finish him off. So I do. Thankfully, he is climbing here, so I'm hoping he'll be able to put 2 shots in before he actually fires. He does fire now, but I think I'm going to have enough time to take him out before he's actually able to kill me. He puts me on to possibly 1 shot, but then we're able to finish him off and bring us a close to replay number 1. We're finishing that off with 5 kills, 2,500 damage. So we had a pretty decent game for a tier 5 TD, getting the high caliber there in the 2nd class. But let's just move on to replay number 2. Okay, so here we are for replay number 2 then on Red Shire, where there is 2 enemy light tanks, quite a few enemy tank destroyers, and 2 enemy artillery pieces. This time we are top tier, so it is a tier 5 matchmaking. And initially we're going to just try and just push down this side and see what we can spot. Just work out how many tanks get detected, and then go from there. Being that there is quite a tank destroyer heavy matchmaking, I'm almost suspecting a lot of the enemy tanks to be sort of camping at their sort of base area. So I just want to see what we find, and go from there. Basically, I am probably the furthest forward on our team now. Also, I do have decent concealment values, but obviously if the enemy light tank or medium tanks are playing this ridge, it could be a little bit awkward for us because we only have 5 degrees of gun depression. And I am playing fairly aggressively in this particular matchmaking. Now we do spot one enemy tank and an enemy, or two enemy tanks, one in front of us, an enemy light tank to our right down the sort of 1-2 line. This is a little bit awkward because the enemy artillery piece is also looking to shoot us now. And them low tier artilleries can be very, very dangerous, because they do fire so quickly and have such a good reload. And you can see he is looking to try and finish us off. Both artilleries are. So I need to try and get out of there. I don't feel comfortable where I am. Hopefully I can get behind this house, which will keep me protected from the artillery, and then deal with that enemy tank where we snap that shot, picking up the kill on the A20, which is very handy because I just wanted to get rid of that angle. Now the artillery actually almost hit us there behind the house, which I suppose how close he came. But I think I'm hugging this and I should be safe. Just enough time really for the artillery to start looking at shooting someone else. We're going to go back up now that that enemy light tank was dead and see if we can spot again. But the second enemy light tank now comes in, and the artillery is going to, it's not going to take long for them to start focusing us again. They are focusing us, trying to take us out. Again, I can't sit where I am because I'm just going to die to the artillery. With two of them looking at us, they're going to hit us if we just stay stationary like a sitting duck. So we just had to pull back safe again. We have actually managed to pick up 1,000 assistance, so we're doing well here for picking up assistance. Now this enemy light tank is focusing us now. I should be able to take him out. I've fluffed 2 shots, which is more to do with my poor aim than anything. This time I am going to aim my shot, and we do take him out, even though we did have to lose more hit points than necessary. But we do pick up our second kill of the game, and now our friendly tanks are starting to move in and help us here. Which is good because once those sort of tanks are dealt with, those early door tanks, I can try and actually use the ridge. And if it's just a tank sort of camping at the back of the map, I'm going to have a lot better chance at trying to use a good concealment and try and go from there. It looks like the enemy tanks have kind of won the 8-9 area. We've only got one tank left over. Majority of our tank destroyers are still on our ridge. If I'm able to spot anything, I might be able to pick up a bit more assistance here. Enemy artillery gets detected. Looking to see if we can get a shot on this artillery on the left. I don't have a shot, so I swapped to this enemy artillery piece on the right, and we managed to pick up the kill there and picking up a little bit more damage. So far we've got 3 kills with 500 damage and 1,000 assistance. Enemy only gets spotted, and we should be able to have 3 farms there. Probably should aim for the turret there, and I'll go straight through. Do pick up another shot, trying to get one in blind here, trying to guess where he is. He can't be far, but our friendly tanks are now moving down, as you can see, down the 1-2 line. So they are going to spot this tank shortly, and I'm in a good position that when they do spot them, I should be able to have shots into those tanks. I'm just looking to see if I can get any shots at this medium here. We are starting to win this game now. I snapped that shot in, picking up our 4th kill of the game. Now I'm going to try and get some shots into this little Oni. Trying to get one in for the turret. I only have small shots. Do get one in, put them onto a potential 1 shot to us here. If we can find a way to squeeze in that shot. Try and pre-lean it, and we do manage to pick up that shot, getting the 5th kill of the game with 5 enemy tanks remaining. And they're pretty much going to be in their base, and then going to be at sort of like the J8 area. Covering, so I'm just going to try and get a little bit closer now so I can try and get some more damage out of this and see if we can get any more kills, because we've got 5 kills already. Maybe we can pick up a 6 and get a top gun, or maybe even a devastator if we get the 7th kill. So I just want to see can we finish off some more kills here. Our team are moving in. It should be a win, 10 versus 5, but stranger things have happened. But I think by the fact that they're all kind of stuck in that location, we should be okay. Going to look to try and finish off this tank destroyer crossing there. We do squeeze that shot in, picking up our 6th kill of the game, giving us a real opportunity to now maybe even pick up a devastator. But I'm getting shot by a tank destroyer which is unlit in the back in front of us. I kind of want this tank destroyer to get detected. I know he's around here somewhere. I see the sort of broken down trees, so I go for a blind fire just in case he was there. He was not far away, but we do miss that shot. Well, now we should be able to finish him off, and we do squeeze in, getting the 7th kill. And now there's an opportunity for a Paul's medal if we can get there. So we can see a one-shot tank. We would like to finish off the one-shot, just to give us a chance of getting this Paul's. Unfortunately, our tank destroyer kind of pulls in front of us, just trying to get a shot by itself. But it stops us getting the one shot in there, which is unfortunate. Should be able to finish off this one shot though, getting the Radleys. Now there's 2 tanks left. There is an opportunity for pulls, but unfortunately I should be pulling back here because this is a tier 4 and it has a derp gun, and it just took us out there, which is a real shame because otherwise we could have finished that. We may have got the pulls, we might have not, but we managed to finish it off with the Radleys, and that brings us then to the replays in the tier 5. Let's see how we got on. We got 8 kills, sort of 1500 damage, and 1000 assistance. So another decent game in the tier 5. But let's move on now to the tier 6. Okay, so here we are for the tier 6 then. And what I'm going to do, just like the tier 5, I'll briefly go over this tank and then we'll get into the replays I've got to show you. So the tier 6 is the Type 95 Jairu. Hopefully I've said that correctly. Has very similar playstyle to the tier 5, but you've traded up and you've got a 300 alpha gun with 175 penetration on your standard AP rounds with 850 shell velocity, 220 penetration on your premium APCR rounds with 900 shell velocity, and 45 penetration on your HE rounds with 400 HP and 850 shell velocity. You still have 5 degrees of gun depression. Again, very stealthy tank, just like the tier 5 is. I've got my concealment down to 215. You have very good DPM. I've got the average DPM is on my current setup 2,742, and I've really enjoyed actually playing the tier 6. It has the same top speed as the tier 5, 40 kilometers an hour, but it's a little bit less horsepower, and it can feel a little bit sluggish, I found, but the gun feels really nice. That's kind of the basics, go through the tank. Let's just get in the replay and you can see how it does. The crew and equipment I use on this tank is exactly the same as the one I use on the tier 5. So if you just look back at the start of the video, you will see the crew and equipment I use in this tank too. So let's get into the gameplay. Okay, so here we are for replay number 1, which is Lakeville. We are top tier. There is 1 enemy light tank, quite a few tank destroyers, enemy artillery. Other than that, fairly balanced matchmaking with the heavies and mediums. Initially, we're just going to try and, just get into position where we can snipe and get any early damage if anything crosses. Obviously, like I say, we are top tier, so we should be able to use our concealment. Obviously, a lot of the lower tier tanks don't have as much view range, so it's going to be less likely we're going to get spotted in this sort of matchmaking. So we push up. This is obviously quite risky here, trying to take a shot here. We could get detected, but thankfully we don't. And now we're able to free farm this heavy tank. He does just get into cover before we're able to get that shot away. But we pick up 1 shot of damage and a little bit of assistance. Picking up some more assistance, and now we're able to free farm this heavy medium in the middle here. Should be able to have the kill, and we do, picking up our first kill of the game. Put ourselves onto 700 damage and about 800 assistance here. So a very decent start to the game. Already the enemy tanks have played quite aggressive and already pushed down the sort of through the town area. I'm going to play a slightly risky play. It's sort of educated risk. I can see where the reach was, and I knew he wasn't getting detected by many tanks, so I'm going to try and push forward and extend the vision. But as I've done that, I can see there's a lot of tanks crossing out of the town. It's actually quite good for us now because we're actually in a position where they probably won't suspect to get shot from. And I actually have sort of 3 shots into tanks like this medium here. Getting a nice shot in, damaging his engine. You can see the 300 alpha, it feels a bit different than just shooting them with that low alpha gun of the tier 5. You can take out tanks pretty quickly and you can rack up some impressive damage in this. Obviously, I've got all these replays out very quickly for you today because I just wanted to show you some of the tank line. So I imagine I'll be able to get a lot bigger games than what I have shown you today. I just wanted to give you an idea of what the tank, what the tank was like. So we've got a few shots there on the cross, picked up about 1,700 damage and 1 kill with 7 tanks remaining, and it looks like we are going to win that fight in the town area. I'm now going to try and push forward. I'm being a little bit concerned that I know there was TDs around this corner. Thankfully they've pulled back round now, and that's going to give us the freedom to push up a little bit further with our tank destroyer covering us behind, and see if we can try and get any more damage out of this game. We do spot an enemy tank destroyer leaving. We put one shot in, put him onto a one shot to us. We should have the finish here, just need to leave that shell slightly, and we pick up our second kill of the game, putting us onto 1,700 damage. Now we've caught out this enemy German tank destroyer. He's not actually looking at us. Probably could have gone for a shot for the drive wheel there, but then the enemy Nashon puts a big shot back into us, which is not ideal. We're going to try and finish off this enemy German tank destroyer, which we do, putting us onto 3 kills and 2,300 damage with 1,067 assistance damage. And now we're going to try and push further forward and try and finish off this one-shot Nashon, confirming our 4th kill and putting us on to sort of 2,500 damage there. With only 3 tanks remaining, this game looks like it's gonna, we're gonna take the win on this game. We just want to try and get as much out of it as we can. Artillery is a one shot to us. We're just going to try and find the angle to get that shot in. Thankfully, he shot derps, and we managed to pick up the 5th kill. It's just whether can we pick up the top gun here. If we can get the finish on this enemy tank destroyer. We put one shot in, but then he'd probably get taken out before we're able to get that shot in. Going to try and get over to the last remaining tank destroyer, but I think he's probably going to get taken out, and he does get set on fire. And that is it for replay number 1. Let's see how we got on before we move on to this final replay. We get 5 kills, 3,064 damage, 1,067 assistance, the first class and the high caliber. So a decent game for a tier 6 light. But let's now move on to the second and final replay. Okay, so here we are for the final replay then. This time it is a tier 7 matchmaking, where you got 2 enemy light tanks and 2 enemy artillery. It is the encounter variant here, so I am going to play a somewhat risky decision. I'm going to try and push down and see what can quite often happen. If our friendly light tank pushes forward, he can spot a lot of tanks out of position crossing. And it is risky, because if I get detected here by the enemy light tank, I'll probably get evaporated in a second, which is not ideal. But I can also potentially pick up a lot of damage being in my tank destroyer. I don't really want to be fighting in the town area. So I'm pushing forward. I'm really hoping that enemy light tank to my right gets taken out, because if that light tank gets taken out, it's going to be unlikely I'm actually going to get detected from this range. The light tank does get taken out, and that gives us freedom here to actually get some shots in. And our first shot of the game picks up a kill on the enemy artillery piece, so you can't ask for more than that. And now we're going to try and free farm this T20 through the small gaps on the building. Try and take, try and get a few shots into him there. Enemy heavy tanks crossing. We get another shot in. He's on a one shot. We may be able to finish him off and picking up a second kill here if we're lucky. But he just gets him and evades our shot before we're able to pick up that kill, but then does get taken out by our friendly tank. Enemy Lycan gets detected. We go for a nice shot in here. Now, I'm probably going to get detected firing this shot, so it's probably not worth it. But we do pick up the kill. But thankfully for me, I'm not actually getting shot at, and that's because most of the tanks are actually out of render, because they're too far back on the ridge. So they don't actually, you probably actually can't shoot me. Enemy artillery did have shots. Now that Lycan's taken out, you can see the concealment, is really good. When I'm fighting at this range, you're not going to actually detect me, and I can get 3 shots into these tanks which are caught out in the open. I probably wouldn't have gone to this position if it wasn't for the encounter sort of variant, but because it was, now the light tanks are taken out, we're in a good position. Enemy Tiger spots, we get a nice shot in there. Should try and track him in place. This Tiger's hit points is not going to last very long, because there's so many just tanks are shooting at him here. Trying to get the finishing touch and get that last kill, picking up our 4th kill of the game. which we do, putting us on to 2,700 damage, 360 assistance and 4 kills. We've still 7 tanks remaining, so we do have a potential to try and get some more out of this game. Our tanks are sort of fighting in the cap circle when they've detected, I think, what, 2, maybe 3 tank destroyers over that way. I'm guessing there is going to be tanks on this hill in front of me. If our friendly tank can light them up. He has done so, and it's his enemy mills, and I'm going to try and get in a position to get some shots into these tanks. We do get a nice shot in there, actually damaging his track, putting them onto a 2-shot to us. But now they're behind the building. I don't have shots unless they move out like that. Unfortunately, that shot just evaded us. Now, I'll probably, in hindsight right now, I think I could have just moved more down the one line, and then I'd actually have side shots into these tanks, and I wouldn't actually be able to stay safe for us. But I'm kind of, you know, say it's a little bit slower than the tier 5. You know, although it's got the same top speed, it just feels a little bit more sluggish. So I'm kind of just waiting right now for these just to poke out so I can try and get some more damage. But the damage is starting to disappear. It's now 11 versus 4. So if I want anything more out of this game, I just need to just go in. I'm hoping more just to try and spot the mills and then pick up the assistance from our friendly tanks. But I also don't want to get taken out, because, you know, if both the mills shoot me, I'll probably get taken out very, very, very quickly. I don't want to throw away my tank. I just want to try and get a little bit more out of this game. We have got 3,000 damage, 300 assistance and 4 kills. But maybe if I'd have moved down the one line earlier, I might have been able to get 4k out of this game had I made that adjustment, because I would have been able to shoot the mills for free, and then I would have obviously got more out of this game if our light tank was spotting them. But I'm just going to move in now. They are trapped behind this building. It's going to be a win. Just whether we can get anything more out of this game. I think then when the mill on the right comes round, we get a nice shot into them, putting us on to just over 3,300 damage there. And I think these mills are not going to last long now. They're getting in the crossfire. They've got nowhere to go. We try and just dirt that shot in, but it doesn't hit. And that is going to bring us an end to the video. So let's just see how we got on, and we'll say our farewells. We managed to pick up, I think, 4 kills. 4 kills, 3,300 damage and 360 assistance. Like I said, I'm sure I can get some bigger games in these tanks, but I just wanted to get these replays out for you quickly in the new line. And I will be getting replays in the rest of the line in the next coming days. So, thank you so much for your support, and as always, happy tanking.
Enemy in sight. Hadouken!